Hi everyone, it's Jamie with Creative Cables. Welcome to my wall of color. Welcome to an amazing video where I'm going to answer that age-old question that I know all of you have been asking yourself, or at least Jane, I know you've been asking it because you asked us how to do this, and that's why we're making this video today. So we're answering the question of how do you wire up one of our white painted double ferrule phenolic Bakelite sockets with on-off switch built in. So we've got the said socket here, and I've got a version that's not the double ferrule 2. This is the smooth-sided one, but I brought it out just to kind of show you the process is exactly the same. So we've got that. We've got our glitter cable today. We went with RL02 because this is it's a cool cable. I mean, it's a rayon cable with glitter all inside of it. I just like it, and it was lying around out back, so I picked it up. And I mean, why not glitter? Come on. And the tools we have today are, we're going to have our coaxial cable cutter, we're going to have a stripper, needle nose pliers, and Bluey, my favorite little small flathead screwdriver. Andrew and I each have our different ones we like. This is Bluey, this is my favorite. And we have plain Scotch tape, and also at the end we have our multimeter tester, because I'm just going to show you how to test and make sure that you wired everything up once you're done. So let's get started with this. The first thing that we're going to need to do is strip this cable. You'll see that this end's already been stripped. However, you know, that would be cheating if we started with the stripped end. So let's go ahead and strip it. You're going to get your Scotch tape. Always use Scotch tape on this. We're going to tape this one roughly about, I don't know, a finger's length or so. It's about 2.5 inches. When you're wiring up this socket, you do have to cut more off than the normal socket. Normally, if I was just wiring up one of our plain sockets, I'd probably tape it right up in there and cut it. But this one, you're going to need more space. Makes it easier. So we go here. We're going to go around once with our cable cutter. So we're scored that, twist it, pull. Now we've got our exposed cable here. We're first going to thread this on. You're going to make sure the threaded section, this actually has little threads in here, but that's going to be pointed out. So we're going to put this on here first, twist and push, twist and push. Make sure that this little set screw is out so it's not stopping it. There we go. Twist and push, twist and push. The reason that we don't just push is this is cloth covered wire. So if you just push, it's going to push all of that up. You're never going to be able to thread this through here, especially when you get to the harder part, which is the tube. Here we're going to use a 10 millimeter 1/8 inch IPE tube. This comes with your strain relief. If you select the cylindrical strain relief, we always include threaded tubes with it, so you'll have that on. So we're just going to connect that there, twisting, and you're going to have a little bit of that threaded tube sitting out here. Right now we're just going to have that hanging out, waiting for the next section. And that is this. So we get the wire, we just put it and thread it in here, and now we're going to get that tube, and it's going to thread in place into the top of the socket. You'll notice that you've got plenty of room. It's all coming out here, and that's good because inside of this socket there is this is the hardest part of the whole thing. There's a tiny little screw down right at the bottom. This is where I'm unscrewing. It takes a flathead screwdriver that you want to loosen up. Just loosen it all the way. It'll kind of come to a stop when it's ready, so don't force it out. When it gets really hard to twist, you know you're done. And this is where we're going to put the ground wire. The ground wire is the green wire here. So I'm going to strip off just a small little portion of this green wire. You see it's just very small. It's enough for contact to be made. And this is going to ground the cable to the socket. This is where my needle nose pliers come in handy. I'm going to make a small bend to this, just a small bend, and I'm going to insert it into the little side hole that you would be able to see when you have this in your hands. And the side hole, push it all the way through. Then I'm going to tighten the screw that's down here again. And we've tightened that up. So good. We've got everything in there now. So now we have two wires hanging out. And I'm going to twist this just a little bit and give myself a little bit more room. This is the neutral white and the positive black. We'll strip these two. and twist. And you're seeing this is roughly maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. You don't want to twist too much, you don't want to twist too little. Just want to have enough to insert it here. So you'll see the on-off switch here. We're going to have it so that when it ends up inside of here, the white goes into the silver portion at the bottom of the socket. So let's wire that up. Sometimes you can use needle nose pliers if you need to, sometimes you don't. So we just have that right into place, and I'm going to tighten it down. Make sure that you don't have any exposed wire on the inside. That's why we've already cut it to about 1/8 of an inch. And we've got it nice and tight. The next thing we have to do is get the hot wire, the positive connection. And the positive connection goes in right at the top. There's a little hole here that you're going to wire that to. So we're just going to go in, and this one's very easy to do, especially if you've already pulled up enough room out. Go in right here. I don't want it sticking way out. I want to make sure that the connection is correct here, so just kind of push it. You can tell I use my body as counterweight mechanism to push against here. So we've got this all wired up now. The next part is all we have to do is slide this into place. It can be a little tricky doing this, but it's not too difficult. Make sure your wires are tucked in. You just push it, get your finger, and push it into place. This you're going to have to kind of manually adjust so that it fits into the socket. And you see I'm putting some force into this, but I've got it into the socket, and now I'm going to push this down. We've got everything set there. Now we have to decide what we're going to do. I told you we're doing a double ferrule socket today. So this is the double ferrule section. It's got little threads you can see, and then these screw on. So all we have to do for the double ferrule is screw it on. If I wanted to have a smooth sided one, if I would have ordered that, we just screw it on. And when you go all the way, you'll hear click, click, click. So that means it's locked. That means if I were to try to break it apart, I can't untwist it. It's got a little lock inside. And there we go. We have wired up a Bakelite phenolic white painted socket with switch.